Get out of the gate! Get off the gate!
A tourist, seemingly unaware of the seriousness of the setting, approaches one of the ceremonial horses stationed outside the historic building. Wanting to capture a unique souvenir from his visit, he decides to take a photo, but rather than standing at a respectful distance, he reaches out and grabs the horse's halter, holding it firmly as if the animal were a simple prop for his picture. What he likely doesn't realize is that this action is highly inappropriate and deeply disrespectful, not only to the tradition and dignity of the Royal Guard, but also to the trained horse, which is considered part of an official military unit.
Hands up the range!
In this video, the woman thoughtlessly reaches out to touch the ceremonial horse, completely ignoring the clear rules and signs that surround her. It's not a moment of innocent curiosity, it's a display of entitlement and disrespect. Despite standing in front of a highly formal, disciplined military unit, she behaves as if it's a theme park attraction, showing no awareness of the tradition or the seriousness of the setting. When the Royal Guard sternly warns her, she recoils in fear, but the real question is why did it take a loud command for her to recognize the boundaries she should never have crossed in the first place?
Make way! Make way! Make way!
You might be tempted to think that the soldiers in these videos are shouting without justification, but that couldn't be further from the truth. What you're witnessing isn't aggression, it's discipline, it's duty, and it's a response to blatant disrespect. These guards are stationed in front of one of the most historically significant buildings in the country, a site that represents centuries of tradition, service, and national pride. Yet time and time again, some visitors treat it like a playground. They ignore signs, cross barriers, block pathways, and pose for photos as if history exists solely for their entertainment. And then, when a soldier raises his voice to restore order, they act shocked, as if they're the ones being wronged. Let's be clear, the real problem isn't the volume of the guard's voice, it's the lack of respect from the public. Crowds gather, creating safety hazards, and in doing so, they obstruct not only the view, but the solemnity of the entire space. If anything, the guard's warnings are a last line of defense to preserve the dignity of a place that deserves far better than to be treated like a tourist gimmick. It's not just about keeping people back. It's about reminding them that history is not a backdrop for selfies.
Get off the ring!
She's deliberately doing it now, she's provoking.
This woman walks up and deliberately touches the horse, then starts laughing, as if mocking centuries of military tradition is somehow entertaining. Her behavior isn't just childish, it's outright disrespectful. She treats a disciplined, working service animal like a novelty, completely disregarding the fact that the Royal Guard is on active ceremonial duty. This isn't a joke, and it certainly isn't a place for thoughtless giggling. Her laughter reveals a disturbing lack of awareness, or worse, a complete disregard for where she is and what she's doing. It's not amusing, it's ignorant, self-centered, and embarrassing. The guards and their horses aren't there for her amusement. They're there to represent something much greater than her fleeting moment of entertainment. Acting like this in such a setting doesn't make her funny, it makes her part of the problem.
Do not touch the King's Guard!
This Chinese woman walks up to the Royal Guard and his horse, completely ignoring every unspoken rule of respect and decorum, and brazenly attempts to touch and pet the horse, all while posing for a photograph like she's in front of a roadside attraction. Her actions show a stunning level of ignorance and entitlement. This isn't a zoo, and that horse isn't there for her amusement. The Royal Guard responds exactly as he should, with a sharp, commanding shout that makes it absolutely clear she has crossed the line. Startled, she backs off in fear, but frankly, she should never have put herself in that position to begin with. This isn't just about breaking a rule, it's about disrespecting a living service animal, a uniformed soldier, and the historical weight of the setting itself. Tourist or not, cultural differences are no excuse for blatant disregard. The signs are there, the boundaries are clear, and the job of the guards is not to entertain, but to uphold tradition and security. Her behavior wasn't just inappropriate, it was an insult to the space, the institution, and everything it stands for.
Thank you very much.
Do not touch the ring.
An older man approaches the royal guard and his horse with a casual arrogance that's almost hard to believe. Despite the clear signage, the obvious formality of the setting, and the stillness of the soldier on duty, he reaches out and attempts to place his hand on the horse, as if he's entitled to interact with it simply because he feels like it. Perhaps he thinks his age excuses him, or that decades of tradition should make way for his photo opportunity. But tradition does not bend to ignorance, no matter how old it is. The royal guard reacts immediately, raising his voice with justified force. His tone is sharp and unmistakably serious, and it should be. This man isn't just crossing a line, he's trivializing a deeply symbolic post. What's worse is that it's not done out of naivety, but a total lack of regard. It's as if he sees the guard and the horse as little more than props for a holiday snapshot. He steps back, shaken. But the damage is done. Not physical perhaps, but symbolic. Acts like these chip away at the respect such ceremonial roles command. Being a tourist, or an elderly one at that, doesn't grant anyone a free pass to behave however they wish. Respect isn't optional, and age doesn't absolve arrogance. This wasn't a harmless moment. It was a display of how easily people can lose sight of context, tradition, and basic courtesy, no matter how many years they've lived.
Hold the reins!
In this video, a family gathers to take a photo with the royal guard and his horse, a setting that demands respect, not casual behavior. But the mother, with shocking carelessness, reaches out and grabs the horse's halter, treating the service animal like a prop for a family portrait. It's an act of blatant disregard, not only for the rules, but for the significance of where she is and who she's interacting with. The guard, maintaining professionalism, tries to warn her calmly at first, giving her the benefit of the doubt. But when she ignores or simply doesn't bother to listen, he has no choice but to raise his voice, sharply and with authority. And rightfully so. This isn't about miscommunication, it's about entitlement. The kind that makes someone think tradition, duty, and protocol don't apply to them. Holding a military horse as if it's part of a photo op is not just inappropriate, it's deeply disrespectful. People like this reduce a centuries-old institution to a tourist backdrop and then act surprised when they're confronted. The rules are there for a reason, and so are the consequences when you choose to ignore them.
Liz, why did you tell me to? See who?
Get off the reins!
In this video, two boys are gently and respectfully petting the horse, calmly, without overstepping any boundaries. The situation is entirely under control, and the guard, recognizing their respectful behavior, allows it without issue. Everything is as it should be. The man barges in from the side with zero awareness or respect and forcefully grabs the horse's halter as if it belongs to him. It's a jarring display of arrogance and complete disregard for where he is. Unlike the boys, who understood the quiet dignity of the moment, this man decides to inject his own ignorance into the scene, turning what was peaceful into something completely inappropriate. And when the guard shouts at him loudly and with full authority, it's not overreaction. It's restraint finally breaking in the face of sheer disrespect. This isn't about touching a horse, it's about people who see tradition, discipline, and duty and still think the rules don't apply to them. He wasn't invited into the space. He inserted himself, disrupted the order, and disrespected not only the animal, but the soldier tasked with guarding it. His behavior wasn't harmless. It was selfish, intrusive, and entirely out of place. Moments like this are exactly why boundaries exist, and exactly why they need to be enforced.